Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakodash, Brakathum. Alright, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and much salutation to you, elect Akyam, across the four winds of this earth, kicking this word in sincerity and in truth. Alright, I'm the brother Sha'ar from the Great Millstone Dallas camp. And I'm going to just go into a lesson. And the title of it is going to be Greatness is Only Determined by Service. All right. And I briefly went into a lesson going into this last night when I got back from camp. All right. And those words, greatness is only determined by service, was spoken of by one of the heavyweight champions. He holds one of the heavyweight belts. And his name goes by Deontay Wilder. All right, and he was pretty much being interviewed by a bunch of different, boxing reporters, and he was pretty much going into faith, belief, speaking things into existence. All right, and the last thing he ended off saying on the part that I recorded in my video was when he said, "Greatness is only determined by service." All right, and I mentioned in my video yesterday how we use certain things, certain carnal aspects to prove a spiritual point. All right, and Deontay Wilder, all right, he doesn't call on the name of the Lord, not to my knowledge at least. I haven't seen him do it. All right, he hasn't called on the name of the Lord or anything like that. I don't know if he knows he's an Israelite or not. All right, now I mean, of course, he's growing his beard out like a lot of the guys are doing, and a lot of people know they're Israelites too. They just might not put it out there because of their wealth or fame or whatever the case might be. All right, but just because he might not know he's an Israelite doesn't mean that you can't find spiritual things in the mouths of regular mortal men. All right, so within him saying that was something very interesting that he had said, and it's something that I took note of, and it inspired me to go into a lesson yesterday. Okay, now this is just a follow-up lesson pertaining to that. And again, its greatness is only determined by service. Okay? Now, there's one scripture I can think of within him saying that. Let's see here. Let me look it up really quick. And by the way, this is in transit, so you're going to hear cars in the background and stuff. All right. So this is in the book of Matthew, chapter 18. Hold on. This is Matthew, chapter 18, verse 1. And it reads, "At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. For whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So that's the scripture that I thought about when Deontay Wilder said pretty much greatest is only determined by service. Okay? As those disciples asked Yahushua who was the greatest, they was discussing among themselves, wondering out of them who the greatest would be. Okay, who will be in charge? Who will be, who's going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven out of all of them? All right? Your greatness is determined by your humility. When you look at a child, for say, okay, let's say an obedient child, a humble, obedient child is going to want to be willing to serve their parents. Okay, service in general. All right, but when parents have a favorite child or so forth, a lot of that favor not only determines if they're a firstborn or not, but it goes into how they're willing to serve their parent. Are you being obedient? Are you listening to the things that you're supposed to do? Are you being rash? No. Are you being charitable? Yes. Are you doing the things that you were supposed to do within the spirit? Okay. The greatest isn't going to be the one that just wants to be the man all the time. All right. The greatest is going to be determined by the amount of service that he gets. And after the amount of service, not that he gets, but the amount of service that he gives out. All right. And the more he continues to give out service, that's when the Lord will start raising him up. All right. That's when they'll start seeing him being raised up. All right. It's not based on how many precepts that you know or how well or how eloquent you can speak. It's based on humility. It's based on how deep you're willing to serve. Yahushua pulled that little child up there as that example because children aren't looking for clout. All right. And I'll say this, obedient children aren't worried about clout. Now you have certain children that are just, they just want to be seen by everybody and this, that, and the third. They do immature things in front of the crowds to be seen like that. But I'm talking about an obedient child. Okay. Yahushua used the example of a child, but namely he's talking about, of course, a child of obedience. Okay. And again, it ain't going to be all clout driven. They're not going to be worried about trying to get all the views, trying to be seen. Okay. Always wanting to title their videos of something dramatic to get all the views or anything like that. No, man. We're not looking for greatness on this side. All right. We're looking for eternal greatness. And the way to receive eternal greatness is serving the Lord, serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, how you supposed to serve him, man. And that comes with humility. That comes with taking the low on this side. That comes with not trying to be the man. Yahushua is already the man. All right. Now the 144,000 elect are going to be joint heirs to Yahushua. All right. And that's, of course, based on a predestination, of course. But those predestinated men are going to conduct themselves on this side in a very humble fashion. Very humble fashion. A very serviceable fashion. And that's going to determine their caliber of greatness in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Again, it's not going to be based on the things they do on this side. Not on how many precepts you know. Not on how many likes you get on your videos. It doesn't matter. Now, of course, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua can bless you with likes. I'm not saying if you got likes and views that you're being wicked. I'm not saying that. But you do have guys that are out here just for clout, trying to be seen. And they go to the far, far beyond, to the utmost degree, to be seen of men. When that's not what this thing of ours is about, man. All right? Ultimately, you trying to be seen by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We supposed to give a dang about what people of the world think about us. Israelites, I'm saying. Most Israelites are wicked anyway. But Jake want to be seen by Israelites, man. All right? Now, I'm not talking about brothers in Great Millstone. But if this does pertain to your spirit, then, hey, man, just got to fix it. Okay? Again, your greatness is only determined by your services, man. Okay? And also that goes forth in the faith as well. Because if you have faith, you're not going to want to look at the carnal aspect of things in order to be seen great. All right? When I say that, you're not going to be looking to be great on the carnal side. Do carnal things in order for people to say, ooh, look, ooh. It's not about that, man. All right? If you have faith, you're going to do the things that the Lord told you to do. Take the humble every time. Look at David, for example. Look at Moses. Moses was considered the meekest man on the planet Earth around that time, that the earth is seen of the people that was alive. That's why Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua chose to deal with Moses. Of course, predestination, but Moses was still very meek, very humble. And Moses was an example of how we're supposed to carry ourselves being men of the Lord. Moses was that example. And he fulfilled that action of humility, man. So how much more so are we ought to be if we want to be considered those joint heirs with Yahushua, because best believe Moses is one of those joint heirs. All right. So if Moses is one of those joint heirs and he's going to have the highest seat in the kingdom under Yahushua, and we've seen the examples of Moses we read about, how much more ought we to be within that? Again, Moses was meek, but Moses also served the Lord dang near perfectly. And we have much more examples written in the scriptures as well, man. How much more are y'all to be? All right. I didn't intend this lesson to be too long. Just wanted to go into that topic. All right. It was something that I was meditating on last night, man. Don't let the outside world determine how you're supposed to serve the Lord, man. Okay. Don't just be in this thing for likes. Okay. This ain't a fad. Don't be in this thing just for views. Okay. Do this thing because you believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, and within that, the increase is gonna come, but don't look for the increase to come. All right, with how can I word this? Pretty much by the outward audience, man. And the outward audience is these people that are out here in the world, the YouTube world, and this, that, and the third, man. Okay, you don't gotta have the most dramatic fashion title. All right, in order to get views on YouTube, man. All right. Your greatness isn't determined on that, man. Your greatness is determined on your humility and how you serve one another and how you serve the Lord. That's how you determine greatness, man. Yahushua washed the disciples' feet. All right. I'm going to end it off on that. Lord, willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.